$300,000.
Call 762 all night.
Investigate TV is here.
You almost seem speechless.
Watch Investigate TV. From the station that's on your side. This is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Tonight, the I-Team digging deeper into a report of a sexual assault at a local high school, and our investigation gives the school a failing grade on how it was handled and the district's response.
But first, CSX is talking about ways to upgrade the infamous Olive Road Bridge, but the price tag has leaders on both sides of the table pretty torn. Over the years, the Olive Road Bridge has taken dozens of hits.
Now, CSX says over the past 3 years, they've spent over $250,000 fixing that bridge. Now they're looking for a solution that's financially responsible. Craig Allison live to tell us what came out of today's meeting.
That's right, y'all. It's the first time that the rail company came in person to discuss the infamous bridge, and they say it's one of the most destructive in the state, along with another one that they have in Athens. Now, CSX says they manage about 9,000 rail bridges, and this one has cost them about $250,000 in repairs to fix over the past 3 years. CSX says every time a vehicle has hit the Olive Road Bridge, the rail's been knocked out of alignment, and they've had to pay for repairs. Today, ideas were thrown out to solve for this for good, and one was to potentially raise the bridge 2 inches, but CSX says that would cost them nearly $1 million for a very small difference.
My ask would be that before they spend that $1 million, perhaps we can have a conversation derived around how we could perhaps use a more preventative measure before they have to invest that $1 million.
And this is just the beginning of solutions and conversations that they're having on this. Other ideas that were brought up were lowering the road or potentially building an overpass. But again, those are expected to be presented on once they meet up again.
They have debated and debated this over the years, and we still haven't been able to find a solution.
It seems to be like a question we can't answer, and other people have suggested hanging something overhead, but they say the city would be responsible for any damages that cause, so we seem to be stuck.
It's wild. We will keep you posted. Craig, thanks for that. Also today, commissioners approved $310,000 as an emergency replacement fund for locks and hinges at the Richmond County Jail. That money came from a contingency plan fund. The interim city administrator is supposed to come back with ways to fund a new part of the jail. Clouds in the sky as we take a live look over Riverwatch and I-20 today, but pretty warm out there.
Yeah, it seems like the prayers and tributes flooding social media today for a Richmond Academy student who drowned on Labor Day at Clarks Hill Lake.
16-year-old Savon Small was a football player at the school. His jersey number 43 plastered online today as people remembered him. We're also learning more about what led up to that drowning.
Sydney Hood joining us now from our social media desk. And Sydney, this has got to be a shock for that campus.
It's a major shock, as you can imagine, for everyone who knew him, family, friends, his classmates, his teammates. He played football for ARC, and all day today on social media, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, they've been showcasing the hashtag Savon Strong and this purple number 43, which is Savon's number, and they are actually dedicating this season to their very own number 43.
At the lake, it's quiet, but on social media, it's loud. It didn't take long for the community to pick up on what happened. Friends and even complete strangers are offering their own thoughts and prayers, sharing purple and yellow hearts, the school colors for ARC. And from one school to another, the support is strong. This post from Josie Reunion's Facebook page saying, in times of tragedy, we are all one. Teammates are now coming together for one of their own, sharing a hashtag Savon Strong and changing their profile pictures to his number. And while the team gears up for the games ahead without number 43, they are dedicating this season to him. Because to them, flying above them is now their guardian angel.
And he certainly is. We're seeing on Instagram a couple of teammates are getting the word out about a balloon release at the football field at ARC on Thursday. We will keep you posted as those details start to firm up.
Yeah, please do, Sydney. And we understand there's another way people can support that family.
Of course, the family is beyond hurt by their loss, but the football team is asking you to share this purple number 43. You can share it on any of your social media platforms to honor Savon, his family, and all those who loved him.
And we know a lot of people will do that.
Yeah, just a small way to let them know they're thinking of them tonight.
Sydney, thank you. Tonight, the I-Team exposes more problems with Title IX in Richmond County schools.
The I-Team has already shown you how Butler High School did not follow federal requirements when a student reported a sexual assault. But it doesn't stop there, as our Meredith Anderson quickly found out. You probably hear about Title IX and think gender equality and sports, but the law also protects students who report sexual assaults on campus. Yet, from what we uncovered, the I-Team gives Butler a failing grade. The I-Team began digging into Richmond County schools and Title IX after a Butler High School student reported he had been sexually assaulted in the restroom during school.
I had seen that there was a video someone had sent to me, and I didn't know there was a video made. She said no one believed me. I have something that somebody could believe me with.
Instead of getting help, the school suspended him for 10 days. According to this report, the office became aware of this November 16th, but that's not when it happened. The student says it happened a month earlier, and a video of it was being shared among the students. He said he was suicidal the day he finally reported a sexual assault to the guidance counselor, who called his mom to the school.
He's explained what happened. She said, and I need to show you something that's going to be very difficult. And she said that I have to show you. And that's when she pulled up the video.
Under Title IX, the school system should have offered the students support, like counseling. That didn't happen. The school should have explained to him how to file a complaint under Title IX. That didn't happen. Perhaps that's because Butler High School doesn't know who's in charge of its Title IX program. Title IX requires schools to designate a Title IX coordinator and to prominently post the contact information on the school's website. When we looked for the Butler High School Title IX coordinator, we first found this, Sharonda Thomas. RCSS had assured us their list was up to date, but it wasn't. We filed an open records request and found a different name listed. Bernard Johnson, a name the school system corrected after we started asking questions. And that wasn't the only wrong answer the school system had. The I-Team found a lot of Title IX coordinators' names did not match. As for information posted at Butler High School to help students, the I-Team found Title IX materials named yet another coordinator, Stacy Mabry, who is the principal, who has since retired. To review, that means when the student came forward reporting a sexual assault, not only did RCSS not give him the help required by the federal law, any student or parent who went looking for support from a Title IX coordinator at Butler was given two different names, and the correct contact was not posted anywhere. When the I-Team filed another open records request, we asked for information about sex crimes or allegations at Butler for that school year, as well as any Title IX complaints. Richmond County gave us this, a total of 3 incidents, 4 students, all disciplined for sex offenses at school. We pressed, asking to confirm there were no Title IX complaints at Butler. It was only after we asked again. RCSS Legal and Compliance Officer Kim Fletcher Bowden said she should have clarified there are no responsive records that can be provided. Such documents are exempt due to FERPA and privacy laws. That's not necessarily correct. Again, Richmond County wouldn't allow us to interview its system-wide Title IX coordinator, Veronica Gloucester. It did give us a statement, though, which did not answer any of our basic questions. The statement included a link to the system's Title IX policies. Only that link did not work. We pointed that out. At last check, the dead link still wasn't corrected.
Our school system does not know how to handle Title IX. Our school system does not know how to handle Title IX violations.
The mother has hired an attorney, and she wants answers. Of course, we'll continue to follow this and let you know what happens next. As for the young student, He is still in therapy and getting the help he needs. His mother's making sure of that. He's at a new school and is doing much better.
Breaking news to pass along out of Richmond County. A female inmate in the hospital in critical condition right now after something that happened at the Webster Detention Center.
The Richmond County Sheriff's Office says when a deputy jailer responded, they found her unresponsive. They also say her family's aware of this and they'll release more when they can.
Well, is it a blast from the past or maybe a sneak peek at our future? We are hitting the water on 4 wheels. Next on News 12.
Looking forward to seeing that. We are expecting hot temps tomorrow. Feel like temperatures close to 100, but we are looking at a little bit cooler weekend forecast. We'll have a look at it just after the break. Few pop-up showers and storms, but luckily those highs do stay in the 80s this weekend into early next week.
Well, we all have different hobbies. For some, it might be restoring old cars. For others, it could be boats. But we usually don't see the two combined.
No, we don't. But a man in Lincolnton came across this really unusual project decades ago, and he was determined to bring this piece of vintage history back to life. Hallie Turner calls shotgun to experience this piece of history for herself.
It will get a 10 in a cannonball contest. And a Kelly's Blue Book.
For anyone that owns one, they would tell you that there's always something to do to one. You never finish it.
It's a new kind of classic.
Everyone wants to ride in, of course, mostly kids. I really ought to get time with my kids and with our friends' kids and all riding in it. They just enjoy it. They can't believe that you can drive a car in the water.
Kind of straight out of the future. I mean, there's always ideas of cars flying or going in the water, but now it's real.
It's been a slippery chase since the Reagan administration.
Heard about this car in the late 80s. But China had been searching for it all that time. The guy that owned it had a place at Rusall Creek and stayed in touch with him. I told him I was interested in it, and he said, of course, I don't want to sell it.
Until 2 years ago.
In the afternoon, we are going to keep an eye to the sky for a few pop-up showers and storms, but luckily those highs do stay in the 80s this weekend into early next week.
Well, we all have different hobbies. For some, it might be restoring old cars. For others, it could be boats. But we usually don't see the two combined.
No, we don't. But a man in Lincolnton came across this really unusual project decades ago, and he was determined to bring this piece of vintage history back to life. Hallie Turner calls shotgun to experience this piece of history for herself.
It will get a 10 in a cannonball contest. And a Kelly's Blue Book.
For anyone that owns one, they would tell you that there's always something to do to one. You never finish it.
It's a new kind of classic.
Everyone wants to ride in, of course, mostly kids. I really ought to get time with my kids and with our friends' kids and all riding in it. They just enjoy it. They can't believe that you can drive a car in the water.
Kind of straight out of the future. I mean, there's always ideas of cars flying or going in the water, but now it's real.
It's been a slippery chase since the Reagan administration.
Heard about this car in the late 80s. But China had been searching for it all that time. The guy that owned it had a place at Rusall Creek and stayed in touch with him. I told him I was interested in it, and he said, of course, I don't want to sell it.
Until 2 years ago, when he finally was ready to part ways, and Kevin Beggs was more than happy to take it off of his hands.
I bought it in November of 21, and I worked on it just about every night during the winter that I could, along with my 11-year-old son. Sometime in the spring, I had it where it was what I felt like was water-worthy.
Reaching speeds fast enough to blow your wig off.
Supposed to do 70 miles an hour on land and 7 miles an hour on water. I've never pushed it to 70 on land, of course.
He might make his living as a funeral director, but he's breathing new life into an old ride, asking nothing in return.
And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Sharing something, a good experience with someone else.
On the water with Kevin, Hallie Turner, on your side.
That's crazy.
Yeah, fantastic.
That is so cool.
Not a lot of people know about these amphi cars. They actually date back to 1961. I think Germany produced a bunch of them, and they stopped in 1968, so they are vintage collectibles.
Wow.
And there are whole groups of people around the country who go out and hit the water together in their car.
I've never heard of it, never seen anything like it, but it looks like a blast.
I love knowing there's one just up the street in Lincoln. That's
very
pretty cool. Yeah. Well, the biggest plays, the best moments, all coming your way next with our sports director, Dan Booth. Under the lights, top 5 plays of the week after this quick break.
Plus a life-saving mission to get life-saving medication, how you can help others after the break.
First Alert Radar.
Help is easy. Just call George St. Gentry Lawyers at all nines.
A local organization wants to help cover the cost of prescription drugs. The Heart-to-Heart Prescription Assistance Program has been around for a couple of years, helping people pay for their medications. If they can't cover the entire cost, they'll work with other community organizations to get it done, but they need your help to keep going.
We would pay for the $45 medication because we're not going to let you walk out the door without paying for your medication. It's not going to happen.
And if you'd like to donate to Heart Prescription Assistance, we have more information on our website, wrdw.com.
Attorneys for convicted killer Alec Murdaugh say they are confident Murdaugh will get a new trial after filing a new motion. They're accusing the clerk of court, Becky Hill, of tampering with the jury by advising them not to believe Murdaugh's testimony. They say Hill told jurors not to be misled by evidence presented in Murdaugh's defense. The motion alleges Hill did these things to secure a book deal and media appearances, including here at News 12, where she was a recent one-on-one guest and talked about her book. Murdaugh's attorney says none of that would have happened if there was a mistrial. Hill's book, Behind the Doors of Justice, was released on August 1st.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
With each passing week, you can feel the excitement for high school football continue to grow throughout the CSRA. So without any further ado, it's time for the Under the Lights Top 5 Plays of the Week. Coming in at number 5, Thompson and Grovetown at the Brickyard. Jakias Jones throws the deep ball to Jarvis Sinkfield, who left the defense in the dust for the touchdown. Thompson picks up their second straight win, 38-0. Number 4, Hepzibah taking on Augusta Christian. Telly Johnson does his best Troy Polamalu impression, breaking through the Lions' O-line, ending this play before it even began. Hepzibah is sitting at 2-1 after another big win. Number 3, Harlem hosting Elbert County. Ethan Evangelista fakes out the defense on the option, bursts up the sidelines, breaks an ankle or two, and then dives for the pylon for the touchdown. Despite this amazing play, the Bulldogs actually suffered their first loss of the season. Number 2, Josie going head-to-head with ARC. The Musketeers are going for the deep ball here, and Javion Jackson says not today with an acrobatic interception. The level of concentration it takes to make a play like this is crazy. However, ARC did come out on top in this one. Our Under the Lights top play of the week comes to us from North Augusta's battle with Lakeside. Late in the fourth quarter, the Jackets pulled off some trickery with a reverse to Michael Doe, helping North Augusta get upfield and seal the victory 27-17. Week 4 is almost here, and we'd love for you to help us decide which one of these matchups will be our Under the Lights game of the week. Will it be Evans hosting Burke County, Greenbrier battling Lakeside, or Saluda taking on Emerald? Scan the QR code on your screen or log on to our website to cast your vote. That's it for sports. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Thanks for watching News 12 on your side.
I'm Chip Lewis with Augusta Medicare Specialist. The Medicare enrollment process can be overwhelming. Let us take that burden off your shoulders. We're local and we're here to help. Don't wait till you're 65 to call. Are64.com.
I'm Mike Costco.
All right, what do we got? Looks like 64 yards to the pin. About 64 mile per hour winds. Dude, there's no wind. Hand me my 64-degree wedge. What's in with you in 64? Are you 64.com?
All right, folks, remember tonight we will drop down into the mid-60s, so it's going to be a comfortable night and waking up early tomorrow morning. Unfortunately, tomorrow afternoon, those temperatures do get several degrees above normal, most likely between 94 to 96 degrees for most areas in the CSRA. Those are actual temps. It's most likely going to feel like the upper 90s, and wouldn't be surprised if we even see a heat index close to 100 tomorrow afternoon. Now, the good news is Wednesday is going to be our hottest day of the week. We do see our temperatures drop off a little bit once we get past Wednesday, so highs will be back down closer to 90 by Friday. For those Friday night football games, not ruling out there's a few hit or miss showers and storms we have to keep an eye on, and those will continue into the weekend.
Riley, thanks. Our next live update comes at 7 o'clock over on NBC 26.
And we're back with more News 12 tonight at 11.